Hello and welcome to another review by Flight Sim Global. I'm Tom and today we will be taking a look at A2A Simulations Lockheed L-049 Constellation Captain of the Ship for FSX and Prepared. The Constellation first flew under the XC-69 designation for the military in January 1943. Due to World War II, the first batch of Constellations were unable to enter commercial service. After the war, the 15 produced C-69s were converted by Lockheed to L-049 variants and put on the airliner market. The first production L-049 flew in July 1945. Many variants followed throughout the years. A2A's version of the Constellation features the L-049 variant. There are currently no flying examples of it, but 4 known examples are on display in the United States, Brazil, and Bolivia, one of which is the only surviving original C-69. A2A's version comes with 3 liveries depicting TWA, BOAC, and a U.S. Army scheme. Many more community repaints are available on A2A's forums. Comparing to Constellation photos, the external model is very accurate from what I can tell. The lines of the panels appear in the proper locations and dimensions look correct. The classic dolphin-like appearance of the Connie comes through well. The included textures also show wear in appropriate places such as on the leading edge of the propellers and around the engine cowlings. Even the wire antenna are present. I personally enjoyed the modeling of the nose gear and have spent a decent amount of time looking over the nose gear of the C-121C Constellation at Dover Air Force Base's Air Mobility Command Museum. Internally, the details continue. The gauges are period correct and also have appropriate locations that show heavy use, such as on the yoke. There are 4 stations modeled in the aircraft: the captain and first officer positions, flight engineer, and navigator. Almost all switches, buttons, and knobs are functional, and all gauges are functional at each set of the 4 locations. The amount of modeling that has gone into the seats alone is impressive, and it continues throughout the cockpit. The only thing I noticed was that the nose light effect appears through the panel at times. Sounds throughout the plane are also high quality. Every switch and knob has its own unique sound and the rumble of the engines is almost hypnotic. When flying, you get to hear the crew remark about current conditions and performance of the aircraft itself.
Yes, sir. Okay, setting up the systems. Pressurization set. Setting cow flaps. Body heater.
With career mode active, you can hear passengers, flight attendant, and ground crew while loading and unloading the aircraft, making for a very immersive experience.
Sir, one of our executives is traveling with his family. I hope it's a good flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Please report to the gate as boarding is about to begin.
Using the load management screen, you can customize or let the sim decide where to load your passengers and cargo. There are a few presets available, as well as the option to do a real-time load or a fast load.
Okay, Captain, all systems are set.
It's an interesting experience to hear switches being moved around when you aren't doing anything, only to remember that this isn't a modern airliner and you have a flight engineer taking care of things for you should you choose to activate him.
Oil pressure okay. Oil pressure is rising. Oil pressure is okay. Oil pressure okay.
The systems are also fully functional, so if you want, you can turn on the Sperry autopilot and hop back into the flight engineer panel and make sure all your engines are running smoothly and are healthy. Captain of the ship keeps track of your performance with the aircraft and what passengers think about your flying. Sometimes you have executives from your airline on board and need to make sure your performance is spot on. Other times, a random emergency may occur that requires diverting the aircraft due to either a passenger issue or a mechanical issue. I personally enjoyed flying to various airports up and down the California coast and southwestern United States. Unlike the Wings of Power and General Aviation series from A2A, the Constellation does not have a fully fleshed out maintenance hangar. Instead, it has a pop-up panel that tells the current engine condition and whether or not they need to be overhauled. To me, this makes sense, as the pilot of an airliner wouldn't be the one servicing it anyway, plus the full crew and passenger experience takes its place. The aircraft also flies right on the numbers provided in the performance tables in the included 148-page pilot's manual, which is also very well written and gives a comprehensive history on the Constellation as well as explanations on operation. All of this, combined with minimal effect on performance, makes this a great aircraft for classic airliner fans. I also feel that the price is very reasonable at $59.99 US, which is only $10 more than standard AccuSim Warbirds and GA aircraft. I would like to thank you all for joining me for another review, and as always, happy landings.